You don't know me. And that's fine. I'm not important. What I'm about to tell you is, I am 92 years old. 92. Say that number out loud and feel how impossible it sounds. I have watched men walk on the moon. I have buried a wife. I have buried a son. I have buried friends whose faces I can barely remember now, and enemies whose names I've completely forgotten. I've outlived everyone who ever made me angry. And you know what that taught me? That all of it, the grudges, the arguments, the sleepless nights, replaying conversations in my head, all of it was a complete waste of whatever precious time I had. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start with why I'm recording this. I'm sitting in a room right now that's about 12 feet by 12 feet. There's a window, there's a bed, there's a photograph of my wife Eleanor on the nightstand. She's been dead for 9 years, but I still say good morning to her every day. And there's a clock on the wall. That clock has become the loudest thing in my life. Tick, tick, tick. Do you hear a clock where you are? Probably not. You've learned to tune it out. You've learned to pretend it isn't there. I can't pretend anymore. Every tick is a deduction. Every second is a withdrawal from an account I cannot replenish. And I'm here to tell you, person listening to this, wherever you are, that your account is smaller than you think. You are not rich in time. You are bleeding it. Let me tell you about a man named Walter. Walter was my older brother, 12 years older than me. When I was a boy, he was already a man, already working, already serious, already planning. Walter had a phrase he loved to use. He'd say it at every family dinner, every holiday, every phone call. When things settle down, I'll take a vacation. When things settle down, I'll learn to play the piano. When things settle down, I'll come visit you, Frankie. I heard that phrase my entire childhood, my entire adolescence, my entire adult life. When things settled down. Walter died in 1987. He was 74 years old. And you know what I realized at his funeral? Standing there, looking at his face in that silk-lined box. Things never settled down. Not once, not ever. There was always another problem, another project, another reason to delay. His whole life was a waiting room. He sat in that waiting room for 74 years, waiting for the doctor to call his name, waiting for his real life to begin. And then the nurse came out and said, "I'm sorry. We're closed." I see you, the person listening to this. I see you clearly. You're Walter. You're sitting in that same waiting room right now, scrolling through your phone, telling yourself that soon you'll start living. Soon you'll take that trip. Soon you'll write that book. Soon you'll tell your father you love him. Soon. Let me give you the only piece of wisdom that matters from a 92-year-old man who has been to more funerals than birthdays. Soon is the most dangerous word in the human language. It's a thief dressed in a suit and tie. It robs you blind while smiling at your face. There is no soon. There is only now. And right now, while you're listening to this, your life is happening. It's not a dress rehearsal. It's not the pre-game show. This is it. This is the main event. Are you paying attention? I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always the man who talks about death like it's an old friend sitting in the corner of the room. I used to be just like you, arrogant, immortal, convinced that the rules applied to everyone except me. That changed on a night in 1971. I was 43 years old. I was driving home from the office at 11 o'clock at night because, of course, I was at the office at 11 o'clock at night. That's where important men were supposed to be in. I fell asleep at the wheel. I woke up to the sound of my own scream and the sight of a tree filling my windshield. The car wrapped around that oak tree like tinfoil around a fist. I should have died. The paramedics told me later they'd never seen anyone survive an impact like that. I broke 9 bones, collapsed a lung, spent 3 months learning to walk again. But here's what I remember most about that night. I remember hanging upside down in that wreckage, blood dripping from my forehead into my eyes, gasoline leaking somewhere I couldn't see, and having one single, crystal clear thought. I wasted it. I wasted all of it. Not, I'm going to die. Not, someone help me. I wasted it. Because in that moment when the veil dropped and I saw my life with perfect clarity, Realized I had spent 43 years preparing to live instead of actually living. I was rich. I had the house. I had the cars. I had the job title that made people's eyebrows go up at cocktail parties. And none of it, not one single piece of it, flashed before my eyes. You know what flashed before my eyes? The morning my daughter was born, and how I rushed back to work 3 hours later. The time Eleanor asked me to dance in the kitchen, and I said I was too tired. The letter my mother wrote me before she died that I never responded to because I was too busy. That's what I saw. The empty spaces. The missed moments. The love I left on the table because I thought I could pick it up later. Tick, tick, tick. Let me tell you something about the things you own. I used to have a beautiful home, 4,000 square feet, 6 bedrooms, a 3-car garage filled with toys I never used, a wine cellar I was saving for a special occasion. You want to know where all of that is now? I have no idea. When Eleanor died, I couldn't stay in that house anymore. Too many rooms. Too much silence. So I sold it. I sold almost everything in it. And I moved into this little room where I am now. I kept exactly 4 things: her photograph, her wedding ring, a letter she wrote me on our 30th anniversary, and a drawing my grandson made me when he was 5. It's supposed to be a dinosaur, but it looks like a green blob with teeth. That's it. 50 years of accumulation reduced to 4 items that could fit in a shoebox. And here's the thing that will haunt you if you let it. I am happier in this room than I ever was in that mansion. Because I finally understand something that took me 9 decades to learn. Your possessions are not your life. They are a substitute for your life. Every hour you spend working to buy things you do need is an hour stolen from the people you love. Every weekend sacrificed to climb a ladder that leads nowhere is a weekend your children grew up without you. And one day, promise you, this one day, you will sit where I'm sitting. And you will realize that you traded diamonds for glass. You traded irreplaceable moments for replaceable objects. And there is no store in the world where you can return that merchandise. Let me tell you about the night I learned what success really means. It was 1979. I won an award. Businessman of the Year. Big ceremony, black tie affair. 500 people in a ballroom, all of them clapping for me. I walked up to that podium, and I felt like I had won the game, like I had climbed to the top of the mountain and planted my flag. I gave a speech. I don't remember a word of it. I shook hands. I smiled. I accepted the trophy, beautiful thing, crystal and gold, must have weighed 10 pounds. Then I drove home. It was after midnight when I walked through my front door. The house was dark. Eleanor was asleep. My kids were asleep. I sat at my kitchen table alone, cradling that trophy like it was a newborn, and I poured myself a scotch, and then I don't know why I started to cry, because it hit me. Right there in that dark kitchen. The people at that banquet didn't love me. They admired what I could do for them. They applauded my utility. But the people upstairs, the people who actually loved me for me, had abandoned them month after month. Year after year, I had chosen that stupid trophy over them. I missed my son's championship game to close a deal. I missed my anniversary to impress a client. I missed my daughter's school play to give a presentation to people whose names I couldn't even remember now. For what? That trophy is in a box somewhere. I haven't seen it in 30 years. I don't know if it still exists. But the look on my wife's face when I told her I couldn't make it to dinner, that S right here, that look is burned into me like a brand. I carry that look with me everywhere I go. Let me be very clear about something. Your career is not your legacy. Your job title is not who you are. You are selling the hours of your life. The only hours you will ever have to build someone else's dream. And that someone else will replace you within a month of your departure. Your desk will be cleared out. Your parking spot will be reassigned. Your email will be deactivated. The machine will keep running as if you never existed. And if you don't believe me, try this experiment. Fill a bucket with water. Stick your hand in it. Now pull your hand out and look at the hole that's left. That's how much your company will miss you when you're gone. That's the size of your importance. So if the money is a mirage, and the stuff is future garbage, and the career is a trap, what's left? What actually matters? I'll tell you. I sit in this chair all day now. My back hurts, my eyes are cloudy. I can't hear very well, and I can't walk without a cane, but my mind still works, and my mind does something interesting. It replays, like an old film projector that only has certain reels left. My mind replays the same scenes over and over again. And not one of those scenes, not a single one is about money. I don't replay the deals I closed. I don't replay the promotions I got. I don't replay the awards I won. You know what I replay? The morning Eleanor and I danced in our kitchen while the coffee percolated. No music, just us swaying like fools, laughing at nothing. The day my daughter fell off her bike and I carried her home on my shoulders, her tears drying in the wind. The night I helped a stranger push his car out of a snowbank in a blizzard, and he shook my hand and said, "God bless you, sir." The afternoon I sat on a bench with my grandson, and he asked me why the sky is blue, and I said I didn't know, and we decided to wonder about it together. That's it. That's the wealth I have left. That's the only currency that doesn't depreciate. Love, presence, connection, the things you cannot buy, the things you can only give. I want to teach you something. A technique that changed my life, even though I learned it too late. It's called the last time. Here's how it works. Every time you do something, anything, remind yourself that one day, you will do it for the last time. One day, you will pick up your child for the last time. Their legs will be too long, their body too heavy, and you'll set them down, and you'll never pick them up again. And you won't know it was the last time until it's over. One day, you will kiss your spouse for the last time. One of you will leave the house in the morning, and one of you won't come home. One day, you will call your mother for the last time, and then her number will just ring and ring in an empty house. One day, you will drink a cup of coffee for the last time, taste the rain for the last time, laugh until you cry for the last time. You don't know when that day is. It could be 40 years from now. It could be tomorrow. It could be today. Most people live as if they had an infinite supply of tomorrows. They don't. You don't. I don't. But if you live with this knowledge of, you really let it sink into your bones, something miraculous happens. You start paying attention. You taste the coffee. You hold the hug a little longer. You say I love you, even when it's awkward. You forgive the grudge, even when they don't deserve it. Because you don't have time for poison anymore. You don't have time to carry luggage that's too heavy for the trip. The wake-up call. I'm going to say something now, and I need you to really hear it. You are going to die. I know you know this. I know you've heard it 1,000 times. But you don't know it. You don't feel the cold steel of it against your throat. If you did, if you really understood that you are a temporary arrangement of atoms that will someday scatter back into the void, you would not be living the way you are. You would not waste hours scrolling through a glowing rectangle, watching strangers live lives more interesting than yours. You would not stay in a job you hate because you're afraid of what people might think. You would not hold on to anger as if it were a treasure, instead of the anchor it really is. You would wake up every morning and feel the absurd miracle of being conscious for one more day on a rock hurtling through infinite space. And you would act as if it matters. Because it does. Every single second of your existence is a gift that billions of unborn people will never receive. And you're trading it for what? Comfort, safety, the approval of people who will forget you existed. That's not living. That's just waiting to die with extra steps. My final request, I'm almost done now. My voice is tired. My body is exhausted. This old machine doesn't have many miles left. But before I go, I want to ask you something. Please do one thing, today, just one thing. Call someone you love, not text. Call. Hear their voice. Tell them what they mean to you. Don't wait. Don't assume they know. Don't convince yourself that there will be a better time. There is no better time. There is only this time. And this time is running out. I had a friend named Jack. Jack was brilliant, successful, had a plan for everything. 5 more years, he used to tell me. 5 more years of grinding, and then I'm done. Then I take Mary to Italy. Then I learn to paint. Then I start living. Jack dropped dead of a heart attack on a sidewalk outside his office building. He was 42 years old. He never went to Italy. He never painted anything. He never started living. And you know what the world did after Jack died? It kept spinning. His company replaced him in 2 weeks. His clients forgot his name in a year. His desk was cleared out and given to someone younger, someone hungrier, someone who probably has their own 5-year plan. The world doesn't stop because you die. It barely pauses. You are not as essential as you think you are. And that should terrify you into living fully right now. Don't be like Jack. Don't wait for the 5-year plan. Don't postpone joy. Don't save the good wine for an occasion that may never come. I'm tired now. I've said what I needed to say. This recording may reach someone. It could change something. Maybe it's just an older man shouting into a void. But I'll tell you this. When I close my eyes for the last time, that day is coming. I can feel it. I won't be thinking about my bank account. I won't be thinking about my awards. I'll be thinking about the things I owned or the titles I held. I'll be thinking about Eleanor's laugh. I'll be thinking about my children's faces when they were small. I'll be thinking about the moments that actually mattered. And I'll be hoping, praying, if I'm honest, that I didn't waste too many of them. You still have time. Not much, but some. Don't waste it. Tick, tick, tick. Can you hear it?